Alrighty. I take a deep breath and focus on what I know. Somewhere, somehow, there has to be a way to connect all the hints I've gathered. I mean, looking back at everything I heard today, there must have been a whole bunch of weird things that stood out. You know, that sounds about right. I wish I could look at it. Oh, I can. It's just not there. Okay, so what have we learned? We managed to pick back up some of our memory stuff from school, but I don't know what it is we're trying to find, because the guy said, Adrian said so himself, we need to start thinking about not what we know, but what we don't know in order to find the truth. And the truth must be why she was gone for those 2 years. And I don't remember seeing anything in my little memory bank about why that could be. His friends... Maybe he knows something I don't. This place apparently being where some experiment was supposed to take place decades ago. That having been ruined by some guy calling himself Null, at least according to online rumors. And now, all of this seems to use that story as a blueprint. Whether the story is true or not, it's all held together by the most central of characters, Emilia, who has been interested in those rumors for years, whose mother was involved in the original experiment. Oh yeah, that's right. Her mother and what we are assuming to be her grandmother, Irene, and Rena? I forget what the name was. Oh well. And then there's this Anamnesia cult. Is Null one of their members? Or is he the leader? Are they really the ones pulling the strings here? It all connects so neatly. We haven't found a whole lot of hints during our time here, but everything we did find managed to point towards all of this being related to our current situation. As if that's the exact conclusion we were supposed to reach. Maybe I was wrong after all. Maybe Null didn't want us to figure out why we're here at all. Maybe the true reason for us being here is exactly what he wanted to distract us from. If that's really the case, I guess I'm back to square one. Damn it. What kind of motive could he have had? Why did Emilia disappear in the first place? And why... My eyes land on the mirror in the back of the room. All of a sudden, a scene from earlier today plays out in my mind. Valerie punching the mirror in frustration. Frustration that has likely been festering inside her for a long time now. Frustration caused by the neural link she never wanted to have. That she only got implanted because of that accident, because she needed it to control her artificial limbs. If she didn't, would she have tried to get rid of it? Would she really have gone to one of those more than shady sites she mentioned? Those that apparently offer to illegally remove them. Why did she even look into that sort of stuff when she knew there was no way for her to live without one? ... Huh. Maybe. Ooh. A beep beep beep. The time went by in what feels like an instant. My clothes are done. Still lost in thought, I pull them out and put them back on. I don't know whether the idea that's occupying my mind will get us anywhere, but it makes too much sense to ignore. Or does it? I shake my head. It's gonna be fine. There's no more time to waste. I need to meet up with the others. And so, I head straight for the kitchen. Alright. Is it time? Is it time to share the deets of everyone?
I guess so. But then... Ah, there you are.
As I walk in, the two of them are sitting at the table, still discussing something. Whether it's about my plan, or how else we could proceed, who knows. I could ask, but they'll probably tell me anyway. I have informed Valerie of everything you told me in the pod room. Okay, hang on. Let me just turn that down ever so slightly. Ooh, bad button push. See? There's my answer. I simply nod, then shut the door behind me and take a seat as well. So,
Evelyn told me about your idea. How we should figure out why Amelia has disappeared in the first place, and what the point of this game even is. Honestly, I should have thought of this way sooner. Guess I was so focused on trying to solve this that I didn't even notice that I had no idea what kind of question I'm trying to answer in the first place. And I think it makes sense. There are definitely questions worth discussing. Fit the whole scenario, too.
scenario?
Yeah, the way this entire thing is set up. Sure, the location and the mastermind calling himself Null is obviously just a callback to the game that this is based on. Or, well, at least the urban legend surrounding it. But it's also just fitting right in with some classic mystery scenarios, like death games or ontological mysteries. Stories in which a group of people typically wakes up in an unknown location trying to find a way out, while often forced to compete in a game of life and death. Stuff like that. And well, unlike conventional murder mysteries, where the whodunit takes center stage, these mysteries instead focus on why the characters were trapped to begin with.
Wow. She made it sound like she doesn't actually care about mysteries at all. Only ever learned some basics to get closer to Amelia. That being the case, I didn't expect her to know this much about them.
I see. That does seem to align with the predicament we find ourselves in. I have to wonder, however, does that knowledge really help us? Though those are just fictional stories, after all.
She's got a point. What good does knowing genre tropes do us? Well, I mean, they're tropes for a reason. Perhaps even Null is following a few for himself. Who knows?
Sure, true. This is a real situation, not something a writer came up with.
Well, about that.
Right? Well, I want to argue that just because this is actually happening, it doesn't change that someone had to come up with the whole scenario for it.
Wait, was that Valerie talking? It was. I'm not crazy. Yet.
There is no logical reason for the guy behind this to put on this whole edgy mastermind persona and give these weird, probably pre-written speeches at the end of each round. Unless his motivation for all of that was the exact same as the one a writer would have when coming up with this kind of story, to hint at our goal.
Oh my god, what is wrong with me?
When a story starts with the discovery of a corpse, you'll expect that's how murder mystery.
Yeah.
You'll expect that it's a murder mystery, and you gotta figure out who did it, maybe even how. Well, and when a story starts with a bunch of people trapped in an underground facility, forced to play some kind of game, you have to figure out why.
Exactly. No, that one I messed up, didn't I? I did. That was me saying it. Whoopsie daisy.
So yeah, all I meant to say was, you're right.
That was a very long-winded way of saying it.
That's probably what our goal is. That's probably this entire reason for picking this kind of elaborate scenario in the first place. At least I can't think of anything else.
Well, I can. As well as it does fit, I get the feeling she fell for the exact thing Null wanted us to think. Can't blame her, though. It was my idea that got her to this conclusion. Anyway, so, while I was in the bathroom, did the two of you manage to come up with any theories?
We did not have a lot of time to discuss our ideas, but I do think we did have some that might be worth sharing. Wouldn't you agree, Valerie?
She clears her throat.
Sure, yeah, right. Guess I'll just, try to explain what we came up with. Pretty bare bones, but maybe it'll help anyway. I'll just say it how it is, after thinking about it a bit more.
What was that? No, that's the game.
I'm pretty much convinced that the collective of Anamnesia is behind all this.
Really? Really? That was your conclusion right now? That it's the cult? I mean, I can kind of see it. Of course, a cult following Anamnesia, which I think is, like, if I remember correctly, also part of the category of parapsychology, that they would probably do something like this, reenact the experiments. But, like, do they have the means of doing it? I mean, I know there are some cults out there that could have millions upon millions of monies, but there are also some out there that are just, dirt poor.
Sure, apart from their symbol appearing over in the other hall, we didn't really find any hints that would connect them to this. But there are more than enough details that point towards them. First of all, the location. According to their stories, their leader has a strong connection to this place.
Okay, exactly. So, makes sense. The leader of the cults, the leader of the cults is, in fact, the guy that was part of the first experiment that killed everyone and did his own thing. Because he's the one that succeeded in getting psychic abilities. That's how he was able to continue on. Do everything. Ooh.
So really, their symbol showing up here isn't much of a...
Ooh, got the hiccups.
Isn't much of a surprise. More of a confirmation.
What? Wait. What do you mean? What kind of connection are you talking about?
Are you ever paying attention? I brought it up twice already. Their leader claims to have survived the original Truth game back in 2071.
Oh, wait. Survived? That doesn't make sense. The only person to survive... Or am I just, like, misremembering what she's just said?
Well, I was convinced of that being a lie, a fancy backstory he made up to appear like some sort of chosen savior. I didn't think it had anything to do with us. And realistically, even their symbol appearing here could have been some sort of red herring. Something to distract us from whoever is actually behind all this. What convinced me of their involvement is that Amelia knew.
Amelia knew?
Amelia knew she would disappear.
She did? Wait, she knew she was gonna disappear? I don't remember that. Some writer, yada yada yada. I don't have a conversation with all three of them yet. Or maybe I do. I'm just too lazy to go searching for it.
Yes, you mentioned that when telling us about your last chat. Right before disappearing, she told you that she wouldn't be online for the time being. Though that might have been nothing more than a coincidence. Sure, everything that have happened could have been a coincidence. But it fits so well. She's been looking into this cult and their connection to what happened in 71 for years. Probably because her mother was involved in all that as well, somehow. Might just be that she got caught up in something dangerous. Maybe she found out about something she shouldn't have and...
Uh-oh. Oh no. Ah. A sneeze is coming along.
And that's when they abducted her.
She hesitates for a bit, then leans back in her chair, admitting defeat.
I don't know. That's all I got. No idea why they would have gotten all of us involved years after kidnapping her. Told you I didn't have much time to think this through.
I see. That's roughly what I originally had in mind. The kind of truth I felt we might be looking for. But just now, in the bathroom, I reached a different conclusion. A much more optimistic one, at least in a way. I can't say for sure that Valerie is wrong. Doesn't mean I shouldn't bring up my own theory, despite, or maybe because, it completely contradicts everything she just said. To be honest, I've got a different idea. Oh, thank God. He's actually gonna say it. He's actually gonna bring it up. Hooray. One that might also explain why we're supposed to play this game at all.
That's so. Well, don't be shy. Go on.
Evelyn simply nods, smiling at me, telling me it's gonna be fine. I can do this. I can, and I will. I might not be certain that my theory is correct, but compared to everything else I said today, this is what I'm the most confident about. This is something worth sharing. Alright, so our goal is to reveal the truth about Amelia. But why? Well, Valerie, you said it earlier. Maybe because Null doesn't actually know what the truth is himself. This whole thing might be nothing but a way to gather info on her, for some reason. But if that's all there is to it, would this entire intricate setup really be necessary? Wouldn't it be better to just tie us up and put a gun to our heads? Seems quite a bit more efficient to me. And why are the rules so vague? Why isn't he asking us specific questions about the thing he wants to hear from us? He clearly expects one of us to know whatever he's looking for, so... I don't know. It's all just weird and unnecessarily convoluted, no matter which way you put it. Don't you think so, too?
Yeah, I mean, sure, you're right. But like, so what's your point? That's just what we've been wondering about the entire time, isn't it?
Well, I consider someone else who might want to know about this truth. Someone who knew it at some point, but not anymore.
You mean Amelia herself?
I simply nod. They don't look entirely convinced just yet, but I think they see where I'm going with this. For the longest time, I thought that Null had made Amelia lose her memory, just like he did with us, just on a larger scale. He abducted her 2 years ago, performing all kinds of sick experiments on her. However, he couldn't have used the same method as he did for us. From what Evelyn told us, the neurological overwrite should only be used for a couple of days at most, right?
Yes, that's correct.
So, what if nobody ever wanted her to forget anything? What if there's some entirely unrelated reason for her memory loss?
Like what?
For this one, I've been putting pieces together before even gathering them in the first place. I hope my assumptions weren't too far off. Valerie, you got into all those topics surrounding the truth game, the nil virus, and even that Anamnesia cult because of Amelia, right?
I mean, yeah.
There's something else you brought up about ways to illegally get rid of a Neuralink.
What? Something like that is... I see.
Oh, so the neurological, whatever it was called, can only take away memories from like a few days. But by taking out the entire Neuralink itself, you're able to take away all the memories the Neuralink was able to collect. But if that's the case, I mean, yeah, that would make sense. That would be why Amelia doesn't remember anything at all. She may not even ever be able to regain her memories. Or wait, no. Didn't Oliver say that she was starting to remember some stuff? I don't know. We'll have to see. Maybe he knows.
I get what you're trying to ask, and you're right. Amelia is the one who brought that up. We talked about how deeply we both wished to live without that thing in our heads, so that sounded like a dream come true. Well, it was nice to at least fantasize about it, alright?
No, sure, of course, I get it. Amelia mentioned something earlier. Wait, what? Oh, she mentioned something similar, not earlier, about how she always wondered what living without a Neuralink would be like. Actually trying to get rid of it, though, she never brought anything like that up. Well, might just not have known that was an option at the time. Maybe spending some time with Sophie, who lived her entire life without one, further fueled her desire to do the same. That might be why she ended up looking into it. I don't know. Something about that order of events doesn't seem to quite add up. What are you talking about? It kind of makes sense. Amelia always wondered what it'd be like without the Neuralink, always having a category memory log. Sophia then shows up, having lived life without one, fueling Amelia's desire to see what that life is like. She then looks into it, gets it getting rid of, and is gone for like 2 years. I think that pretty much adds it up. What is this feeling? What am I forgetting about? What am I forgetting? Am I forgetting something? Huh? I can't look at any of the memories in there. Oh wait, yes I can. I can look at the memories in here. But I don't know what I'm looking for. I don't know what I'm looking for. Huh. It must have been it has to have been something within these memories right here. But the problem is that I don't know anything between the two of them. I didn't even know that they were friends until Sophie came back and showed... God, I keep moving my mouse off screen. And showed me the picture of Amelia and told me how they met and all that stuff. Maybe, is there anything here that you see, big guy? Because I can't think of anything. My brain is a little small right now. And that's everything. At least all of that. What am I forgetting about? Whatever. It can't be that important. It probably was, and I messed it up. The whole game's ruined. You also mentioned that it was considered pretty risky. That it could lead to brain damage, as you described it.
Well, of course. If it was a feasible option, I would have already be offered as it would already be offered as an official service.
I'm not so sure about that one. I can totally see the corpse lying about it being impossible in order to keep as many people as possible tied to their system. Either way, let's go with that for now. Makes sense, of course. The question is, what kind of damages? Could removing a neural link, a device directly tied to a person's brain, perhaps lead to memory loss? See, exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying. Getting rid of the neural link would also kind of revert a person all the way back to when it was first installed. Why does that sound like a movie that I just can't remember? I swear to God that is a movie of something in the brain, but if you take it out, you revert back to when it was first. Oh wait, no, it's not a movie, it's a game! It's freaking Prey! Oh my God! It's Prey! The little eye things to give you like skills and whatnot. But then when you try to remove it, your whole brain reverts back to when it was first installed, losing all your memories. Oh my God! The Neuralink is the whatever that thing was called in the game. I just cracked this case wide open. When I put it like that, it just seems so obvious. Exactly, man! It's Prey! Like something I should have considered this entire time. I just hope I'm right.
I mean, research on this topic is still being carried out, but yes, that is a possibility.
What is this? 20...
Holy shit! So you think she actually went through with it?
It would also explain why she told you that she'd be gone for a while. Not because she feared getting too involved with that cult, but because she had already planned the procedure at the time.
Yeah, I guess so. I see. So that is the conclusion you have reached. That certainly seems to add up.
Ooh, is that what you would consider the truth? What you think we were supposed to find out? No, not at all. If that... Ooh, if it were that easy, hell, ATB would have solved it in like minutes. And plus, we're still in here. No voice has gone off yet. Honestly, if I'm right, I gotta admit my original idea might have been completely off. I don't really think Noel wanted us to find out about this at all, about why we're here. Sorry for wasting your time, Valerie. And I think this is that there is no truth. Oh, wait, what did I say? What I think is that there is no truth, no specific thing we're supposed to find out. I think the entire point of this game might be to talk about Amelia, about how we knew her, about her life, to help her remember, to remind her of everything she has forgotten. Ooh, okay. What if this whole thing was set up by Jacob Neiman? Jacob Neiman to bring back the memory, all the memories that his daughter had lost. But he couldn't do that through the nanologue anymore because she had hers removed. And I'm assuming, since it seems like such a dangerous procedure, they kind of just went in there and went just like scrambling around like, where is it? Just moving stuff they shouldn't have. And to get it reinstalled is an impossibility. Or maybe just getting it installed again. No one's ever heard of it. Oh wait, no. He doesn't want anyone to know that getting it removed is a possibility. And even more so, that doing so would get rid of memories. So he hid her away in order to try to find a way of bringing back Amelia's memories. But upon learning that he wasn't able to do it himself, he took all of us. Me, that knew her back in uni, Valerie, who knew her when they were in the hospital and would talk to her over the computer and whatnot, Sophie, who was the girlfriend, I assume, another guy who, no idea in ATB, and then Evelyn and her sister to work as the technicians for the data transfer thing in room number 3 and as the voice of reason. I've cracked the case wide open. The culprit of all of this is Jacob Neiman. That's why the rules were so vague. We weren't supposed to talk about anything in particular, and our specific choice of topics wasn't supposed to be influenced in any way. Noel wanted us to talk about whatever we thought of as most relevant, most memorable, the things she would remember the most. Is that why he deleted our logs as well? So that we wouldn't simply look up what seemed like relevant hints and instead naturally discuss whatever came to mind? Was trying to solve this game like some sort of mystery story my biggest mistake from the start? Wait. You know what? I said that perfect. I'm not looking back.
I admit I like the idea. However, if what you say is true, what about all the documents we found? Or the cult's symbol in the other hall? Some kind of connection to the cults and the original experiment can't be denied, can it?
Oh, I absolutely think it can. Valerie hinted at it herself. Those could be nothing but red herrings. Deliberately planted clues to distract us from figuring out the real goal behind this game. If all of these things really were connected, why would Noel leave those very obvious hints for us to find? Why not just get rid of them in the first place? To me, it almost seems like he wanted us to come to the conclusion that Valerie had reached. Maybe Noel was hoping we'd give up trying to understand what some weird cult was up to. Instead of even bothering to question our task, we just focus on completing it. Though it seems like it had the exact opposite effect on us. Or on me, at least. He didn't want us to realize that the entire point of this game was something as seamlessly innocent as helping Amelia regain her memories.
But if that's really all there is to it, then why would Null care so much? Isn't messing up your brain just kind of the risk that comes...
Wait a minute. Okay, hang on.
Isn't messing up your brain just kind of the risk that comes with that whole procedure?
Okay, I think I figured something else out. Null is Jacob Neiman. He's just hiding behind AR. And the reason for that is because... No, wait. Did Sophie ever meet Jacob? She might have. She doesn't have a Neuralink. She doesn't see AR. I'm gonna take back what I said. Yeah, no. Yeah, that one's gonna be false. Yeah, that one's false.
Couldn't they just abandon her as it is, or dispose of her altogether? That's right. Putting this much effort into helping her regain her memories. Does that really seem like something criminals offering an illegal service like that would bother with? Because it's not criminals doing it, it's Jacob Neiman.
Yeah, I've been kind of wondering the same thing.
I mean, you could probably argue that they still want to build up a trustworthy reputation and all that, but still, this just seems excessive. If they can afford going through with an operation of this scale, wouldn't they have ways to simply sweep the whole thing under the rug, especially after more than 2 years?
Right, no, really, I don't know, but I do know. Jacob. This is the only time Jacob's name was ever brought up? God damn. Sophie. No search results. Worth a try, that one. I can't do this. Sophie, what are you doing here? Yada, yada, yada. Okay, yeah. Sophie is Amelia's girlfriend. I kind of forgot about that at the start. Sophie has something else to share, something that might actually interest her in knowing more. That you knew Sophie. For example, when you heard Sophie in Neuralink Center to meet with Amelia's father. Okay, yeah, no. She already knew what they looked like. She was even going there to meet him. Yeah, okay. So that ruins my whole thing. There might be some kind of reason. A reason for why they couldn't just make her disappear. Maybe her father was onto them. He's pretty influential, isn't he? If he got a hold of the people behind that, he could probably pull some strings to hunt them down.
So you think he threatened them?
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I don't know. Come on, don't give up now. You're so close to figuring this out. Don't let these questions spell the end of your story. There has to be some clue you're missing. Okay, come on. I mean, wouldn't it add up how we got here in the first place? None of us remember, but we all gathered up at the Neuralink Center he worked at, right? Nathan, Evelyn, and her sister were there for work. Oliver to get his Neuralink. But what about the rest? Okay, this one I know. Just like you said, Nathan, Evelyn, and her sister were there working, so that's 3. Oliver to get his Neuralink, that's 4. The only people left out are me, Sophie, Valerie, and the other guy in ATB that I can't remember. So, me and Sophie were going there to talk with Jacob Neiman about Amelia. That means the only people left were Valerie and the other guy whose name I can't remember. God, how do you... God. Neuro. I can't spell for the life of me. Link Center. Oliver, I know I was planning to visit a Neuralink Center, the one in A3. I think going there was the last thing I can recall, but I can't really tell. Well, and just like me, she made her way to the Neuralink Center in A3. Like I said, I planned to finally get my implant, but she went there for a completely different reason. Okay, yeah, we know that. Let's just say it isn't impossible. Only Neuralink Centers. For example, when he heard that Sophie went to a Neuralink Center to meet with Amelia's father, the first thing he asked was whether she went alone. Why would he ask something like that? Yeah, that's because he kind of knew I was with her. Is it fair to assume you accompanied her when you visited the Neuralink Center? He told us that, surprise, Sophie's recognized the name Adrian, that she brought along her friend. Wait, that she brought up being friends with him and that she was the one to come along to the Neuro Center. When did it add up how we got here? What about the rest? I mean, I still don't know who the fuck Eric is supposed to be. Oh, is that the guy's name? Eric? Eric. One of them's on her team, recognized him right away. Eric's his name. Doesn't seem to know anything about any of this either. She hadn't thought much of it, but when she drew it on a piece of paper to share it with Eric, apparently he knew what it was. No, I considered it. You're probably right. You're probably right. I could absolutely do use suggested, but it would probably work. But then again, I'd just be copying what others said. Wait, why is this popping up? Those wouldn't be my conversations. I would do nothing more than collect empty blah blah blah. At that point, I can just read through the log. If I were actually doing that, that would be practice. So really, there's no way in knowing how to approach others. If I don't have anything I want to talk to them about. Why is Eric popping up in here? Wait, why is Eric popping up in this thing? I don't see it. Is it part of a word? Suggested, probably work. Copying others. Put in my words. Conversation, nothing more. Collection. Empty phrase. Oh, generic. It brought up that whole thing. Because freaking generic has Eric in it. Wow, okay. Okay, I guess so. I don't know who Eric's supposed to be, but Sophie and I apparently went there to meet up with her father for the first time after never getting any proper replies from him before. Couldn't it be the same for you? Maybe he contacted you.
I guess so. So you think he's involved in all this?
Probably, at least to some capacity.
Hold on. Are you trying to imply that Professor Neiman would, in order to help his daughter regain her lost memory, assist in kidnapping and potentially killing multiple people close to her? You might want to reconsider such serious accusations.
You know what? She actually got me thinking. Maybe the only reason it's popping up once is because I'm using the word Jacob. N-I-E-M-A-N-N. Okay, yeah, there's a little bit more. She was on her way to meet with Emil's father, Professor Jacob Neiman. So her father really is Professor Neiman, I did not expect this to be related to him. Oh my, Neiman. I'm looking for someone. You don't happen to know an Amelia by any chance? Amelia Neiman. Okay. Not much. Not much in there. This is the first time I've seen her this agitated. Ooh. Someone's a little upset that I'm throwing accusations at Professor Neiman, eh? Guess I hit a nerve with that one. He is quite an important figure in her field of research, after all. And she's right. Amelia's father being involved in something like that seems pretty absurd. Yeah, so does being locked in an underground facility playing a truth game. That also seems absurd. Even if it's for her sake. But who knows whether that's really what's going on here. Well, I mean, has anyone died yet?
I'd hope not.
However, Null said just because he says one team has to die, that doesn't make it true. Maybe it's just supposed to make this situation feel more urgent, to make us focus on our task. Although we still managed to waste quite a lot of time so far.
You think we might have never been in any real danger then? Guess I can't prove we were.
Evelyn still looks mighty unhappy though. Hard to tell. Your face is very singular.
Although that might be true, that would still mean he cooperated with kidnapping a group of people and imprisoning them in this underground facility, some of which are completely uninvolved.
That is true. That is true. You, your sister, Nathan, and Oliver are uninvolved. Wait a minute, but that makes sense. Oliver and Nathan, they're uninvolved, so they are the liaisons between ATB and ATA, us. Whereas you and your sister are with us as the voices of reason, keeping the two people talking about Amelia calm and collected, and to reinitiate the set of memories that were taken out in the first place. You're here not because of a connection to Emily, but because of your lack of connection to Emily. Amelia. Why am I saying Emily? Amelia! I got this figured out, man.
My sister and I have never even met the professor. Oliver was nothing more than a customer with unlucky timing. Even if Null wasn't planning to kill any of us, this would be a serious crime to commit for such selfish reasons.
I mean, I can't deny what she's saying. It's true. Even just bringing us here against our will is rather extreme. God, I was so close to solving this. I was so sure that everything lines up. Come on, there has to be some kind of explanation that makes sense. Can't just give up now. Maybe we weren't brought here against our will at all. Ooh, that's a good one. That's even one that I think I suggested like way earlier. We volunteered for this, but in order to keep it as a blind test, our memory of agreeing to do this were taken away. Jacob knew, but that wouldn't explain... No, that wouldn't explain the memory of Sophie and Oliver, who said that smoke was filling the room. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know, man. Maybe her father explained the entire situation to us, and we agreed to help. That might also be why our memories weren't erased. That might also be why our memories were erased, so that we wouldn't know about the purpose of this game from the start. That works, right? That makes sense, doesn't it?
Nah, that can't be it either.
Huh? What is she saying? Yeah, no, because... smoke. Yeah, see, look. The lights turned off, white smoke filled the waiting room, and we all started dropping to the floor, one after another. What am I missing?
That completely contradicts what Oliver told us, and what Sophie apparently said. You know, because their memories weren't erased and all that. They would still remember volunteering to participate.
Well, then maybe they're just in on it. Maybe they're just playing along with...
Adrian, I think it might be time to give up on the idea. To begin with, if the motive you propose was indeed correct, then this elaborate setup doesn't make much sense, does it? If Null was simply trying to let Amelia regain her memories, then wouldn't it be much more efficient if she was allowed to talk to the people close to her herself? Why go through this in such a roundabout manner? Why have Nathan and Oliver deliver messages back and forth between different halls? Why set this up as a game of life and death? Why...
I get it. Okay, yeah, you know what? You're kind of right about that. I guess so. It would make more sense to just have a little sit down face to face, like, who are you people? We're your friends. Instead of being like, where am I? Okay, man, I really thought I was getting somewhere. I really did, but I guess not. All right, oh well. I guess we're back to square one. This is indeed a game by the Anamnesia cults. It's always cults, man. I get it. You're right. I hang my head, dejected. She's right. It all fits in a way that forms a satisfying narrative. and yet none of it makes sense in the context of the actual situation we find ourselves in. So much time spent wondering what might have happened to Amelia, what might have happened in the past, that I barely kept the present in mind. This was nothing but a waste of time.
Hey,
Valerie speaks up, though seemingly struggling to find the right words.
I still think it's a good theory, alright? Sure, some details are a little wonky, but overall, I think it works. I can't deny that either. But I still think we should try to think of other possibilities. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, you know what Null said. Once we find the truth, this game should end immediately. Until that happens, until we're told this is over, we should still try to find it. If the core of your idea is right, we aren't in any real danger anyway. So really, even if there's no point to it, it at least doesn't hurt to keep trying, right? If nothing else, it's a nice piece of hope to cling on to. Maybe nobody will have to die. Evelyn will get to see her sister again, and you'll meet back up with Sophie.
I'll see Sophie again. But that's not what I wanted at all, is it? Is it? Valerie places her hands on the table, raising herself from her chair.
Well, that being said, I guess I'll check those documents again. Not like I got anything better to do until Oliver returns.
And with that, she heads off to the living room. Damn. I don't know if that's part of the story, us dropping the thing, or if I legit just missed something. I really hope I didn't miss anything. Evelyn and I remain, quietly looking away from one another, until she speaks up.
I apologize if my reaction to your explanation seemed a little harsh. In truth, I agree with Valerie. It would be splendid if you were right. I just don't want us to give up on thinking now, to just accept this theory as correct, despite apparent inconsistencies. I also don't want to be too hopeful that all of this will find a peaceful resolution, that I can truly meet my sister again. The stronger my belief in that happening, the worse I will suffer when it doesn't.
I simply nod in silence. She's right. Damn. I was so determined to find a solution, so determined to find a way to end this game as soon as possible, so determined to make sure Sophie would never learn the truth, so determined for Sophie to die. And yet, the answer I reached was one where Sophie wouldn't have to die. I've been lying to myself this entire time. This theory was never meant to save us. Its only purpose was to save me from the fear of losing the only person I could have ever called a friend. I don't deserve someone like her. Even in the face of death, I'm too weak-willed to truly commit to sacrificing anything for my survival. Like a clueless child, I cling onto some baseless belief that everything will turn out just fine. Every problem I have will resolve itself eventually. But it won't. I will die in here. I will never see her again. She will find out that I lied to her, and I won't even get a chance to explain why, not that I could. I will never play another song, and she will never get to hear it. Though she'd want me to break that promise anyway. Right? In that case... Evelyn has been sitting there, patiently waiting for me to think things through and calm down. I raise my eyes to look in hers. So, what do you want to do now?
I wonder. I suppose Oliver will return soon either way. Perhaps he has learned something new that might help us. It might be okay to take a bit of a break until then.
Might be, huh?
How about you? Did you have something in mind? Do you want to take another look at the documents with Valerie?
Nah, I doubt there's much I could figure out with this little time left, so... There's something else I want to do. Something else I still need to do. I get up from my chair, Evelyn following my lead.
I see. Do you plan to enter the living room as well?
I nod, Ooh! Are we grabbing the guitar? Valerie sits at the desk, arms crossed, hands empty.
Oh, well, guess the jig is up. I don't really feel like doing any thinking right now. I just don't really know what to do anymore. I see. Don't worry. We didn't make any further progress either. It seems we will have to hope that Oliver returns with some new hints for us.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
I guess. So, Adrian, you had a reason for coming here, isn't that right?
I mean, I guess. You're making it sound like it's something that could actually help us. Maybe, well, maybe I'm the one who made it sound more important than it really is. Guess I'll just have to keep pretending it is.
So, what's that?
Well, I just thought... I've been wondering for a while. For a while. Why is there a guitar in this room? I mean, everything else here's just standard furniture you'd find anywhere. A desk, a sofa, beds, a table with chairs, but an acoustic guitar.
You are certainly right. That does seem rather specific, especially with how rare physical instruments are these days. Okay, so what?
Yeah, so what? The thing is, I used to play guitar. Well, that's almost an overstatement. I tried to get into it for a while before just dropping it again. Never knew much about it. When I first saw it, I thought it was nothing more than a coincidence. How would Null even know about any of that, right? He probably doesn't even know who I am, is what I thought. But now, knowing how much this entire game seems to intertwine with our past, I doubt it is. No, I'm sure that even if everything else here is still from back in 71, this isn't. As I move closer and closer, I reach out for its neck, grabbing it much like Valerie once did with mine. Ha, memories. Holding it like I used to, I turn back around to face the others. They don't say a thing, and I can't read their expressions at all. What are they thinking? So, if the two of you don't have any better ideas, mind if I play something? Maybe that'll help us, somehow.
Somehow, huh? If you say so. I already told you I'm taking a bit of a break, so just do whatever you want.
She smirks in a way that tells me she saw right through me once again. She knows I'm just saying whatever comes to mind, and that I really only have one reason for wanting to play the guitar right now. I don't know whether I'll ever get another chance to. I give Evelyn, who simply remains quiet, a quick glance, to which she replies with her usual combination of smile and nod. And so I sit down, guitar in hand, placed firmly on my lap. Ooh, haven't seen a new picture in a while. I've never been particularly good at this, and now that years have passed since I last touched a fretboard, I doubt I've gotten any better. I check whether the guitar is out of tune, but to be honest, if it is, there's not much I can do about that, not by ear. Instead, I let my fingers dance across the strings for a bit, trying to recall patterns to place them in. Which chords can I still play, really? Do I still remember the song I wrote? God, why did I decide to do this again, and in front of two people I barely even know? No, it's exactly because these two are here. Because I need someone to hear this. If nobody does, then I may as well never play it. No, I may as well never think of making music. Even if it isn't perfect, even if it isn't entirely unique, even if it's utterly basic, it's still me. I take a deep breath. My hands awkwardly placed on top of the strings, they begin to move. Music, or something resembling it, starts to fill the room. Oh shit! So is this like a full song? No, it's kind of nice. It's kind of calming, you know? I feel like this is the type of music you would be listening to. Sitting down in the lawn chair, staring out at a field, thinking about the past events of something major that just happened. How it could have been different. How it could have been avoided. And how none of those things could have changed. Or something. Do I do anything? I wish you could have heard this, Sophie. I also had no idea how long that was going on for. I don't know if that was really the end of it, or if me hitting spacebar just brought up the end. But even if you never will, I'm still glad I did this. After a brief moment of silence, Valerie is, surprisingly enough, the first to speak up.
Look, I don't know how you'll feel about me saying this, even if it means anything at all, if it even means anything at all, but should we make it out of here alive, I'm sure Amelia would be happy to hear this, to hear you playing the guitar.
Did she bring that up too?
Yeah.
I see. After that, silence returns. Evelyn remains perfectly still, with an absent-minded expression on her face, her eyes pointing nowhere in particular. Are you okay? Is what I want to ask.
Hey, are you all right?
She blinks a couple of times, as if she had just awoken from a daydream. Then her lips part to reveal words that I could never have predicted.
I feel like something terrible has just happened. Wow, come on, isn't that a bit harsh? He wasn't that bad.
I don't think she's talking about the music. I wish she was.
Over in the opposing team, I mean. I apologize. Huh? What do you...
Valerie is cut off by a voice that we did not expect to return eventually, but with words quite different from last time. Words that should have made me jump with joy, but right now leave me with nothing more than utter confusion. The truth game has now concluded. Wait, what? Did we win? Did they win? What happened? The winner is answer Team A. The doors to the exit have been unlocked. Please make sure to gather all your belongings and prepare to depart at your earliest convenience. After the voice disappears, we remain frozen for a little while longer. It's almost comedic how generic that entire message sounded. Like we're in some game show and we simply won the big prize. Please take your money and leave. But instead of money, there's only pain. The internship of games. As I simply continue to stare ahead, Valerie's mouth begins to move, if only briefly.
Evelyn, how did you know?
I didn't. Not this. Not like this.
She takes a deep breath, trying to regain at least some of her usual composure.
If this was nothing but it was nothing but a vague feeling. Somewhere, deep down, I felt that something had happened. To my sister, that is.
Well, with that kind of timing, it can't have been a coincidence, can it?
I suppose not. Perhaps it is true what they say about twins. How they are connected from birth by an invisible bond. How they can communicate beyond time and space.
So wait, hang on, we won? How? I played the guitar. Once! How did we win?
Telepathy, huh? God damn it, give me a break.
She was part of the original parapsychology experiments. She unlocked her psychic potential. She's upset, but not angry. Not at Evelyn. Not for bringing it up. Not like she has a better explanation for what just happened. Not like I do. Honestly, it doesn't really matter. What matters is that Evelyn was clearly right. Something must have happened to her sister, and that can only mean one thing. So, they died? The other team? All of them? She starts to reply without delay, before changing her mind after all.
I guess so.
Valerie takes care of it for her, so all she has left to do is nod. I thought so. The final nail in the coffin for my theory. I mean, I got exactly what I wanted. We won. And before Nathan reached Sophie's team at that, before she found out. That's what I wanted anyway. That's why I came up with my theory in the first place. But I was wrong. Seeing Sophie again was simply never an option. No matter how hard I tried to come up with a story that would lead to a happy ending for every character involved, it was never meant to be. She was always destined to die. But why? Why is it this the way it ends? How did we win? We didn't even solve anything. Me playing guitar couldn't have been the solution we were looking for this entire time, right? That's absurd. That's just plain stupid. What kind of truth is that supposed to be? So, why? Why did it have to happen now of all times? I laid down the guitar next to me on the sofa. Why even bother? Could have thrown the damn thing against the wall. And yet, that's what I decided to do. My head has been filled with conflicting emotions this entire time, but now, it's worse than ever. I look at Evelyn, who's just as quiet as I am. How does she feel right now? Is what I wonder. Is what I want to ask. How do you feel? Is what I ask. Huh? Me? I nod. She averts her eyes, unsure what to say. Are you sad or relieved?
I wonder. I suppose if I had to pick between those two, I'm sad. I wonder if a word exists that could describe my feelings more accurately. However.
I'm sure. There are a lot of words. Finding the right ones is the toughest part. How do I feel about all this? How do I feel about killing Sophie? The exact thing I wanted to accomplish. The exact thing I had just given up on. I will never find the words to describe this feeling. Instead, I simply stand up, my eyes fixed on the door leading to our freedom. Apparently.
You want to head out?
I shrug. Don't know. Do you? Yeah, of course you do. Right now, Valerie is the only person in the room who hasn't just lost someone close to her. Being that lucky comes at a cost, though. The cost of not knowing how she should act around us. Whether it's all right for her to just leave. Yeah, that is a little messed up. Two people have just lost someone and you're just there like, yo, so I'm just gonna dip. Meet back up with Amelia and go home. She's standing here for the simple reason that she's worried anything else would seem insensitive. Valerie, for all the shit she's given me today, she's not without empathy. She's not a terrible, garbage person. She's not me, after all. It's simply this situation that made her behave the way she did, I'm sure. This overwhelming mess we got caught up in. I can't blame her at all. I nod, ever so faintly. It's me who's wasting her time. I guess I'm ready. Let's go.
Yes, let us depart. I doubt idling about even longer will do us any good.
Yeah, guess so.
After exchanging a couple more glances, we slowly but surely move towards the door. Behind it, the familiar sight of the hall meets with the unfamiliar sight of an open door. Oliver is nowhere to be seen. And yet it's there, waiting for us to step inside. Are we gonna meet back with Oliver? I mean, he was also technically one of the winners of this game. And what does that mean about Nathan? Because he wasn't in with the other team. Or is he just going to be like taken away and be like, yeah, no, sorry, man. No, wait, please, I'm still living. And so without delay, we continue moving towards it.
It's really over, huh?
Is it? For some reason, I don't feel quite as optimistic as her. We get in the elevator, it closes, it just goes down, opens up.
Time for level 2.
No. The closer we step towards this supposed exit, the tighter my chest begins to feel, an increasing amount of dread filling my heart to the brim. I'm just waiting for it to burst. Will this door really lead us outside? Will Null really let us go, as if nothing happened? Where is he anyway? Not even gonna give us some final goodbyes? Something about this doesn't sit right with me. Like he's up to something. And even if he isn't, even if everything we've been told is the truth, that just means that I will inevitably run into Amelia. Probably soon. What will I say once I do? What am I supposed to say? What would the right thing to say be? No. Much more importantly, what do I want to say? I don't know. I don't know the answer to any of these questions. It has taken me a long time to walk towards this door. I only know that I'm terrified of what's to come. With that knowledge, we wordlessly arrive in front of the door, staring at the small chamber within. I hesitate to take the first step, but so do they, until Evelyn decides to speak up.
Are the two of you ready?
Valerie steps forward without replying. Evelyn looks at me before we do the same. It's a tight fit, but we make it work, more or less. At first, nothing happens. No announcement telling us that an unauthorized signals have been detected or anything like that. Ooh, darkness. And then, after a short wait, the door slides shut behind us. Complete and utter darkness envelops us. In these mere moments between the outer door closing and the inner door opening up, I finally managed to feel somewhat at ease. Finding the truth never mattered, did it? And so, I wipe my log once more. It's fine. I'll be alright. I don't need this. What? What? No entries found. Unless this is intended, please visit your local Neuralink Center for further assistance with diagnosing and resolving the underlying issue. We apologize for any potential inconvenience this might cause. What do you mean? All that just gone? It's fine. I'll be alright. I don't need this. It has never gotten me anywhere. I checked it 50 fucking times today alone. Did I really check it 50 times, or is that just a number? And yet, what good did it really do me? What good could it ever do me? Not like I'll ever forget these past few hours. For better or for worse, I never will. A gap starts to form in front of us, and light from beyond begins to seep in. I close my eyes. Thank you for everything, Sophie. No matter what awaits me beyond this door, I promise, I will live for the both of us. Oh! That's it? Okay. Alright, you know, I guess that's it. Alright, that was and God damn it. Anamnesia. And why is this so hard for me? Anamnesia. Part 1, am I my body. And this was really cool. I really liked it. I did not realize that this was actually just going to be a kinetic visual novel. You know, no choices and whatnot. And it actually makes me wonder if checking the log really did change anything in the story, you know? Like with the what we just had at the end there. Would checking the log, trying to find a certain topic of conversation, actually change anything? Would have made them more believable of what I'm talking about? Anything extra? Game? Oh. Sophie? Okay. Hello.
Good morning. Me. Whoever invented the concept of standing up before noon, you're probably already dead. Fuck you anyway. Did it have to be 10 a.m.? Did you even bother to ask if later would work too? Of course not. They could have told him to come around at 7 in the morning, and he had been all, yeah, sure, sounds good. I shouldn't complain. I've been trying to get an appointment with the bastard for years. If anything, I can still barely believe that Adrian, of all people, ended up being the one to get on their nerves long enough for them to give in.
Ah, okay. So this seems to be the day we were taken from Sophie's perspective for some reason.
He really kept pestering that Senate all this time, eh? Poor employee that had to keep replying. Definitely not paid well enough for this bullshit. I wonder if it'll be worth it in the end. I've given up on getting an appointment with him for a while now. Not only was it a hassle, I also just started to doubt whether I'd even get anything out of talking to him. God, why am I having so much trouble reading right now? Meeting with that shut-in won't bring her back. Even if he had the means to, he could have pulled those strings by now. If he'd cared enough to do, well, anything really, he would have reached out to me by himself. Instead, he took the easy way out, cut himself off from the world like the garbage father he's always been. He couldn't care for her when she was still here. Why would that change now, right? Still, now that Adrian's finally gotten his hands on him, it won't hurt to go and see him. If nothing else, I'll at least get a chance to tell him what I think of him straight to his stupid face. Well, I don't know how stupid it is. Guess that depends on how much Leah takes after him. Heh. I've already wasted 10 minutes lying around. Come the fuck on. Alright. I can't keep Adrian waiting. Not after he put this much effort into securing this opportunity for us. Oh, not for us. For me, of course. All for my sake, as he said. Yeah. If it wasn't so sad, it'd almost be kind of funny. How after all this time, he still thinks I don't know.
Oh, wait. Oh, Sophie knew the whole time. Oh. Okay. So that's what that was. So Adrian's whole thing of like, I gotta solve this now before Nathan goes back over there and tells Sophie that I did indeed know Emilia. She already knew the whole time. Oh, wow. And he'll never know. He'll never know that Sophie knew. Oh, wow. But okay, yeah, all right. Like I said, this was really fun. It was a lovely story. I have no idea who this person is on the screen. Is that Amelia? I don't remember seeing anyone with white hair. Did Evelyn have white hair? I already forgotten what they looked like. That's probably Amelia. There were the only thing, yeah. Like I said, I honestly have no idea if looking at the log changed anything with the story. It might have. It might not. I'll just never know. But anyway, what has me concerned is that this is labeled as a part 1, which means that either this is just, a red herring like we had earlier, or if there's a second one coming out at any point in time. But I guess we'll have to wait for the future and see if it does. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this. I hope you had as much fun as I did on this journey through, it was what, 4 90-minute intervals for so that's what for however long this was. The thing said that this was a 3 to 4 hour game. A 3 to 4 hour game, and as I'm looking at my Steam hours right now, I am at 9, or I'm pretty sure this is 10 hours. Yeah, I completely blew right past that estimated timing. But anyway, like I said, I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, go ahead, leave a like. And if you liked it that much, go ahead and subscribe for more. And until next time, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Goodbye.